I was going to give a really laid-back, calm speech, but after that intro, I don't think I can now. I think I have to be really energetic and bounce all over the place. Well, fellow Toastmasters and guests, Happy New Year! I'm excited to be back. I really miss you all. It's been 3 weeks, and there is no Toastmasters nicotine patch that I can wear, so I am really excited to be up here, and I'm really excited to talk. And I had no idea what I wanted to talk about, and then luckily, Freddie called me, my savior, called me and said, Robert, how would you like to talk about giving evaluation speeches? I said, Freddie, that's brilliant, because I can talk about that, and I don't have to prepare too much about it because I was stuck at work all day. So fellow Toastmasters and guests, by a show of hands, how many people have given an evaluation speech up to this point? We've got a few people have given an evaluation speech. So how many people that this isn't their first meeting have never given an evaluation speech? You've been here a few times but still haven't done it yet. 1, 2, okay. For the rest of you, you don't know what an evaluation speech is yet. So if I'm going to talk about it for the next 5 minutes, let me give you a little context because you haven't seen that yet. After these speeches are over, there will be a section a little bit later in the evening where a few other people will have the opportunity to evaluate the speakers. They're going to give us a 2 to 3 minute speech, and in that speech they're going to give us some feedback. In Toastmasters, feedback is tremendously important. We value constructive criticism more than just about anything else. You'll find that Toastmaster clubs are this great environment of acceptance, but because we love you and accept you doesn't mean that we want you to stay the way that you are. So there's a lot of opportunity to grow and become a better person. I have had the pleasure of getting to take on every single role that we have to offer here in Toastmasters. For those of you that don't know what those roles are, find a new member, find an officer, we can explain them all to you. But there is a lot of roles, both in the leadership side and in the speaking side. Even the general roles, like grammarian, timer, things like that, all of those roles have an opportunity to speak. All of those roles give you a chance to receive feedback. We're really, really big about that here at Toastmasters. And if you're like me, the hardest role to fill, in my mind, was always that of the evaluator. And I've heard a lot of other Toastmasters say the same things. They've always said, I really am scared to give an evaluation speech. Because not only do we have our own issues that we're dealing with, we're struggling with being public speakers, we're struggling with our own learning curves, but now the destiny of someone else is in my hands, right? What I have to say up here as an evaluator not only reflects on me, but it reflects on the person I'm evaluating. My job is to give that person feedback. And if I don't give them good feedback, then I've let them down. And a lot of people feel like that is just so much pressure on top of everything else. So a lot of people really struggle with giving a good evaluation speech. So my goal today is to persuade you to give an evaluation speech or to feel more comfortable giving that speech. So for those of you who may not have thought about this yet, I'm going to challenge you to consider that an evaluation speech actually has 2 target audiences. Most people probably don't think about it the same way I do. Most people would say that as an evaluator, my target audience is the person I'm evaluating. Right? If Kalani gave a speech and I'm his evaluator, you would think that for the next 2 to 3 minutes, my job would be to direct my speech to Kalani. He would be my target audience. But you're also giving a speech to the entire rest of the room. If you don't believe me, look at your ballot. Who do we vote on? We vote on our speakers, our table topics, and the best evaluator. Why do we vote on the best evaluator? Because the evaluator's job is to give a speech. A speech has an intro, a body, and a conclusion. A lot of people miss that. We think as our speaking roles, that's what we have to do, is give an intro, a body, and a conclusion, and write a good speech. But as a table topics person, that's also our goal. And as an evaluator, that is also our goal. Your evaluation speech is as much for everyone in the room as it is for the person that you're evaluating. Some criticism I've always heard from people getting evaluated is they maybe didn't get a great evaluation. They were disappointed that somebody gave an evaluation and they didn't really get a lot from it. The evaluation is really more about the person up here giving the evaluation. If you don't feel like you got enough information from your evaluation, talk to one of the officers. Talk to one of the more experienced clubs. Talk to your mentor. Really, there's a lot of layers to get that feedback. So I say that to take a little pressure off of you if you're giving the evaluation. your job is not to be the only person giving that target speaker the evaluation or feedback. Your job is not to make them your target audience. Your job is to get up here and give them a speech. And it's really the job that we always have. When we stand up here and give a speech, any speech, take on any role, our job is to give a good speech. So I'm going to spend the next couple minutes talking about how I give an evaluation, what that process looks like for me, and maybe some of you will get some good information from that. So the first thing I do when I'm evaluating a speaker is take a lot of notes. I have, actually, the last evaluation speech I gave for Karen, for those of you that know, this was the notes that I took. So the entire speech that Karen gives, I basically jot down everything I can think of. All the good, all the bad, things I liked, things I didn't, things that she can improve upon. I basically write as much information down on this card as I possibly can. And then Karen's speech is over. And then I have about 20 minutes to write my speech. So I will get a clean sheet of paper, and I start writing a speech. And I'm looking for an intro, a body, and a conclusion. So a good rule of thumb or a good opportunity, if you've never given an evaluation before, is base your intro off of their intro. So I might come up and say, you know, Toastmasters and guest Mike gave a great speech. He captivated the audience by talking about opportunities for us to improve ourselves. That's a great introduction. I've summarized his speech. I've given us a way to transition in. And now I start looking for ways to improve or feedback that I can give our target speaker. Now, I don't remember what our word of the day was, shibboleth. One of the shibboleths that we use here at Toastmasters is the sandwich method. This is a great trick for people that are not familiar with giving evaluations. Basically, you take something good, put it on top, some room for improvement, and then follow it up with something good. If you're not comfortable giving criticism, then you can use the sandwich method. Kalani, I loved your energy today. I would have really appreciated it if you wore a blue shirt, because that color just does nothing for your eyes. But you did a great job, and I really am grateful that you came up here, and I learned a lot about setting goals. That would be a really poor example of the sandwich method. I apologize for that. The other thing that I would encourage people to do as I wrap up is tailor your feedback to the person giving the speech. If someone's giving their icebreaker, what we want to do is mostly make it encouraging. We want to, and I'm going to go over my time, that's okay. We want to give them an opportunity to grow, and more importantly, we want to really build them up, but never skip the opportunity to let somebody grow. I've seen a lot of people that are afraid to give constructive feedback. Give that feedback, just make sure it's appropriate. I hope that Mike rips me apart on this evaluation. If he says my haircut wasn't very good, and that's the only evaluation he gives me, I'm going to be really disappointed. If you have an advanced speaker coming up, feel free to share things that you can see more of. So I will leave you with that. There's plenty more that I could talk about, but I've completely run out of time as usual. If anybody would like to be an evaluator, would like to learn more about being an evaluator, please come see me. It is the most challenging role that I feel you can take on here at Toastmasters, but it's a really, really great opportunity. It takes the best of table topics, the best of public speaking, the best of being a teacher and a mentor, and rolls it all up into one. And I hope that you will feel a little bit better about giving those, that you will sign up to be an evaluator next week. And if you're not sure about it, that probably means you need to do it. So ask me and I'll be happy to give you some advice. Thank you, fellow Toastmasters. Thank you, Mountain Toastmasters.